parties carried on in Minnesota for the sixth night in a row. Hundreds marched outside the Brooklyn Center police station, where Mr. Wright was shot dead by an officer. At times, peaceful protests turned violent. Demonstrators launched fireworks and threw bottles at officers. Police responded back with tear gas and rubber bullets. At least 100 people were arrested. In Portland, structures were set on fire as police declared a riot. Protesters are rallying against another police killing of a local unarmed man. Tensions over racism and policing are already high in the U.S. after the killing of George Floyd. One last shot for Singapore's national divers to earn their spot for the Tokyo Olympics in July. And they're going full steam ahead in training with the Diving World Cup in May. It will also be their first major outing since the pandemic started. Alif Amshar has more.
Sheer focus, strength and confidence. With the Diving World Cup just 2 weeks away, Singapore's national divers are primed to make a splash. At stake is a slot on the Singapore Olympic team heading to Tokyo. For twins Mark and Timothy Lee, it's all come down to this.
To qualify, we will have to come in around top 30 in the World Cup. It's definitely doable, and right now, 2 weeks away from the competition, we're really focusing on consistency. For me and Mark, going to the Olympics has been a very long-term goal for both of us.
Other hopefuls include SEA Games medalists Ashley Tan and Frida Lim.
I hope we have one or more divers to get to qualify. And because from 2019 SEA Games until now, we had nearly 15 months no competition. So we have plenty of time prepared for this competition.
Singapore will take part in 5 events, including the 3-meter springboard and the 10-meter platform. Success in these events will bolster the divers' chances for an Olympic spot. Jonathan Chan, who has already qualified for the Olympics, is taking this chance to warm up for other major events in the year ahead.
I feel like I definitely forgotten what it feels like to compete with, like at a world stage with so many other athletes. Because even when we have trials in Singapore, we only have like us, so about 10 people diving at one time. This one will be a waiting time of at least half an hour between each dive because there are like 50 to 60 divers in each event.
And with the COVID-19 pandemic still a threat, they'll also have to get used to safety protocols during competition, like multiple tests and daily health checks.
Well, if you want a clearer picture of the devastation climate change has caused through the years, Google Earth has added a time-lapse feature to its platform. Using 24 million satellite images and 800 curated videos, the time-lapse tool shows changes in coastlines and sweeping transformations of cityscapes. And that's all tonight. Headlines anytime at CNA.Asia, and you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. We'll leave you now with more pictures of the Google time-lapse. Have a good night.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways. Sponsored by Qatar Airways.
COVID-19 was a real wake-up call as to how vulnerable our food security situation is.
COVID-19 acts as a catalyst to start thinking about using technology in education.
We want to make sure that our future dorms are more resilient to pandemics.
The Singapore hospitality industry, we are survivors, we are fighters.
Watch Our New Normal on demand at cna.asia.
Singapore has been shaped over hundreds of years by a blurring of cultural and ethnic boundaries.
Singapore's success was based on its perfect geographical location.
Singapore, a city with a surprising wild side.
Our tiny island is really alive day and night.
Our commitment to improve bilateral ties on the basis of equality and mutual respect.
Imagine the Singapore you know, only reimagine it.
Singapore has a role to play in the AI world.
When you get AR and VR spaces, there's the opportunity to bring children and parents together to play.
Singapore's gears up to develop this new frontier.
The sky is the limit.
The people of Myanmar marked the traditional New Year of Thin Yen this week, but the mood has been far from festive since the military coup. We look at the cost of defending democracy, from the protesters who risk it all, to the families who have lost their loved ones, and to those who seek a better way. On February 1st, Myanmar's young democracy came to an abrupt halt. Peaceful demonstrations against the military coup soon turned bloody, but that has not deterred protesters.
ရန်ကုန်မြို့အတွင်းမှာလည်းဆိုတော့ဒါကျွန်တော်တို့တက္ကသိုလ်အတွင်းမှာစပြီးတော့ဆန္ဒပြမှုတွေစပြီးတော့ဖြစ်လာတယ်ပေါ့နော်။နောက်ပြီးတော့ဒါဆန္ဒပြမှုတွေလူထုလှုပ်ရှားမှုတွေဆက်ပြီးတော့ပေါ်ပေါက်လာတဲ့ကိစ္စတွေလည်းအများကြီးရှိတယ်။ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်ကတော့ကျောင်းသားတွေကနေပြီးတော့လူငယ်တွေကနေပြီးတော့ဒီလူထုလှုပ်ရှားမှုတချို့တွေကိုပြန်ပြီးတော့အချိန်ဟောင်းကောင်းပြန်ပြီးစတင်ရလိမ့်မယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်ယူဆတယ်။မိတော့အကြီးကြီးတွေစက်တောက်ဖို့အတွက်ဒါအချိန်ယူနေတဲ့ကာလလေကျော်တင်အောင်စောင့်နေတဲ့ကာလလို့ပဲကျွန်တော်ယူဆတယ်။လမ်းမတွေပေါ်မှာလမ်းမငယ်တွေပေါ်မှာဒီလူထုလှုပ်ရှားမှုတွေမရှိတော့ဘူး။ဒါမှမဟုတ်လူထုကလည်းသူတို့ရဲ့စံနှတွေကိုတနည်းနည်းနဲ့ထုတ်ဖော်ပြသခြင်းမရှိတော့ဘူးမရှိတော့တဲ့နေ့ကကျွန်တော်အရေးတော်ပုံကြာဆုံးရမယ်နေ့ပဲဆိုတာကိုလည်းကျွန်တော်သိကြဖို့လိုတယ်
Early March saw the first mass bloodshed, and later that month, the bloodiest day of protest on Armed Forces Day. More than 100 were killed. The death toll continues to rise.
အသက်ချက်ချင်းတည်တည်သွားနိုင်တဲ့တိုက်ပွဲတစ်ခုနှွှဲနေတာပဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီစစ်မျက်နှာပြင်မှာစစ်တပ်တစ်ဖက်နဲ့တစ်ဖက်တိုက်ကြတာတော့မှဒါကိုယ့်လက်ထက်မှာတနက်ကင်ထားပြီးတော့သူ့ကိုအချိန်မီကျွန်တော်ကပြစ်တက်လို့ရတဲ့အခြေအနေမျိုးကျွန်တော်စစ်မြေပြင်မှာရင်ဆိုင်ရတာဆိုတော့ဒီအခြေအနေဟာကျွန်တော်တို့ဟာဘာလက်နဲ့မှမပါဘဲနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဟာချက်ချင်းကျွန်တော်ကတည်တည်သွားနိုင်တယ်အသက်အန္တရာယ်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ခေါင်းထဲကိုကြည်စံအခြေမျိုးဝင်လာနိုင်တဲ့အခြေအနေမျိုးတွေမှာတကယ်ကိုဝင်ဆိုင်ရှင်းဆိုင်နေကြတဲ့သူတွေဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့အဲ့လူတွေတကယ်လေးစားဥညွတ်တယ်
The majority of the anti-coup protesters are students and youths. They have put their lives on the line in their fight to defend democracy. In early March, some 400 student protesters were rounded up by the police in Tamwe Township in Yangon. This was the largest mass arrest since the military coup in February.